Perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna go over the general game plan here. Okay, I want everyone. Everyone's watching right here, right? Okay, good. So a lot of you guys saw what happened today. So some of this might be familiar. Some of you guys that haven't. The TLDR is that the 1 HP us. Only the guild, not the alliance, will start inside the castle. Every single person is going to be teleported outside. If you're in this area, you will be teleported outside. You will go to Vienta Port. Okay. Do not, if you are in the alliance or if you are on our side and you are not in 1 HP specifically, do not be in this area. When it starts, okay, there's going to be a few different phases here, and we're going to go over this one phase at a time. All right. Phase number 1 is the start, okay, the start, which is the golem rush. This golem here, number 3, spawns first. Okay, this one right here. We need to take the golems. The defending teams can take the golems. 1 HP specifically, the people that have the throne cannot take this golem. However, 1 HP specifically can be out here and not get teleported out, allowing us to defend this point preemptively. So when this happens, we want to have an advisor from Clapping Cheeks 1 and in Strength. I'm just referring to your guild name as Strength, okay? To enter into the castle, and that is going to be done most likely through the sewers here. When they enter, they are going to channel the respawn, so their respective guilds are able to respawn on points 1 and 2. Strength is going to be on point 2, and Clapping Cheeks is going to be on point 1. 1 HP is going to maintain point 3. Once that happens, we will be able to respawn here when we die. Everyone else is going to be essentially respawning from Titan Reach. So the general flow of this fight is going to be everyone just when they die, everyone's just going to spawn into Titan Reach, and they are going to have a 20-second God mode period, as you guys know, when you die, and people are just going to continue to trickle by the gate. This is pretty much the general flow of the fight. Okay, so the most important respawn point here, guys, is respawn point number 3. This cannot be given up. We have to defend this at all costs. And the only ways this can be taken is by either opening this gate that is right here. This is a non-siegeable gate, but it is a door that can be opened. Opening up a door, the same thing that is here, or getting this sieged, the main gate here, which can be sieged, or by being ninja'd here. Okay, so this area right here, if we lose this area, especially before this wall has been sieged, then it's likely game over for us. That is a scenario we do not want to have. We want to avoid it. We want to control point number 3. For this reason, we want to make sure when this front gate gets sieged, or if there's a gigatrite where people come in, or if we lose the front wall, or if the carrier golem is controlled by what and they are able to breach our walls, each guild, every single guild. So I think we have what? We have 6 guilds times 4, roughly 24 individuals. Okay, advisors need to immediately get to the back here. Okay, and wait and be ready to set up a teleport in case we lose these respawn points. This is extremely important. We need to make sure every single guild, I'm talking about like every single guild, when this is breached, an advisor needs to come, ignore the fight, and come straight to the inner wall and have a teleport summon gate ready to go. This is the only time we're going to be using a summon gate. So what will happen is one of two things. 1, we're able to retake these spawn points and we're good. 2, we lose these spawn points and it won't matter because everyone is going to have a summon gate back to the inner wall and we protect respawn point 3. If we fuck this up, that will probably be the siege. Okay, so this is extremely important. I'm going to go through the phases, but I want to emphasize this point since we're already talking to advisors. We need at least 1 advisor from each guild to be ready to come back into the inner wall. So let's go over this step by step. Phase 1, the golem rush. Okay, 1 HP is going to be here, and the rush is going to be to try and get this. Okay, now 2 scenarios will play out. Okay, this is phase 2. We either win the golem fight or we lose the golem fight. Okay, in the event that we lose the golem fight, what will happen is we are going to set up rally points. Okay, so let's say this is rally point number 1. We're going to pin this. We're going to set up rally points. Okay, let's say this is rally point 1, this is rally point 2. Okay, if we lose this, then the 3 guilds that have the spawn, clapping 1 strength and 1 HP, they're going to spawn right back in, and we're going to just defend the siege on top of the walls. Okay, everybody else is going to take a Titan Reach Ruins waypoint and meet at the rally point, unless we call it. Okay, if we lose this fight, rally point, and then from the rally point, we are going to do a joint push to try to retake the golem. And it will be very likely that when that push happens, we will pincer, and the people that are on the walls will go ahead and continue to push, jumping down the walls, trying to take, depending on where the fight is. Likely the fight will be here, so they won't have to move, but we will essentially be hitting them from both sides. But it is important that we are actually utilizing the rally point, and we are not just feeding in. We don't want to feed in. All right, in the event that we win the golem fight, this golem is going to come back to the gate. Whoever has control of it comes back to the gate, and we set up literally at this gate. That is what we're going to do. We're going to pull the fight towards the gate, and when the second golem pops up and we are aware of the spawn times of the golem, we are going to prepare for another push. The golem will stay, and let's say the carrier golem, which is the second golem to spawn, let's say we've got 30 seconds for it to spawn. We are going to be doing a hard push on the golems together. Everyone from the wall will come down, and we are going to try and take the golem. Everyone on the wall being the people that already have respawn points inside, and if they die, they'll just be able to come back. Okay, so TLDR for whelps. In the event that we win, golem comes back and stays by the wall, and we bring the fight here. And then when the next golem pushes or is about to spawn, we will do a hard push on that golem and take it. All right, so the final phase is if they breach our gates, which we already talked about. We're going to try and fight to keep these points. If we die, then we will have summon gates back behind. Do not use summon gates unless we call. Also, we have the ability to make it rain. We will be using the rain skill, which buys us 10 minutes to block off the entry to the lower sewer in the event they breach our wall. If they breach our wall and they are here, we are going to immediately make it rain, because we do not want to give up the sewer here and allow them to get to our back line, put a summon gate down, and fuck us. We are going to immediately put down the rain. If they never breach our walls, we're going to put down the rain the last 10 to 15 minutes of the fight. Okay, so that is the basic scenario that we're dealing with. Once and defending this is pretty straightforward. We'll make the calls, but if we lose this wall and they take respawn point 3, it's just going to be us utilizing a rally point and just trying to group back up to take the castle. But it's going to be pretty difficult. If we can't hold them off by doing that, it'll be kind of difficult. So let's hope that they are not able to breach our last wall. But it will be likely that we call a regroup, whether that's in the throne room or outside at a rally point. That's what will happen. Oh, one thing that I did forget to mention was this spawn point here. We will have some scouts in this area that can call this. But again, this is kind of like the outside fight, but we will have a scout because you can use a hook to get up here, and kind of attack from this angle. So this is one of the last things, and then we'll kind of take questions. But when it comes to this area right here, as a lot of you guys saw, right? What we're going to actually do here, we're going to attempt to do it, and it can be done if we do it right. This is specifically for the 1 HP team. We are going to be pulling these rats, and we're going to be pulling them to the top of the stairs. If we pull them to the top of the stairs, they do not move, and the enemy team cannot utilize this entry point. we're going to shut it down completely by simply pulling the rats up top of the stairs. But that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Any questions? 질문 있으시면. Oh, that I know. I'm aware of that. So that's something that 1 HP just needs to know, and my scouts need to know that. That's it. It's another so there's another ninja way in, but it's extremely difficult to pull off, even with good ping. Like it requires some flying shenanigans. I literally tried to do it and I wasn't able to pull it off. So like, yes, we will be monitoring that. But that entry, by the way, if they are to use this ninja entry that we're aware of, that brings them to 0.3. That brings them over here. This is their entry right here. So we can see that because we're going to be patrolling this area. How does the actual throne capture work? They're going to be in the throne and they're going to channel it like you channel a boonstone. And only the guild leader from a guild can channel it. And if he channels it and he takes it, then he becomes the usurper. And he gets this mega buff where he takes reduced damage depending on how many of his guild members are in the area for during that time. Also, we do have a couple of Queen Belendir staffs or wands, whichever one it is, at the top that does insane AoE damage. That's going to be very useful for this choke point here, by the way. Yeah, I'm reading what Danny's saying. When it comes to like us attacking, if they take it, it's the same thing. It's just what we do is if golems are available to be spawned, then we try to take it, assuming that golems are all down. We are going to be setting up a rally point, and then we rally, and if they've taken it, they've taken these walls, so we'll be able to enter, right? So we are going to essentially meet at a rally point, which will be called, and we take it from there. Can we rely on XP guilds to help? I'm going to be, for like scouting duties, I'm going to be having like my mods and people that I trust to be scouting. I will let you guys know who those scouts are so that you guys know not to kill them. But we might have some patrol duty / scouts that will be around that we can trust. I mean, I think the golems are pretty self-explanatory, right? We're going to try and take the golems and utilize them, prioritize certain golems. We are going to try and prioritize the jumping golem. If we can get the jumping golem, then we might make some interesting plays that we will call on the go that I will talk to my strategists about. We do have some interesting plays that we might execute during the siege. This is the other point that you could actually come by Siliveth. There's a hook point down here that you can actually utilize right here, and that'll allow you to jump up here. It's kind of awkward and it's kind of a bad spot to come in, because if you come in, you can kind of get pelted here, right? You can get rejected pretty easily. So this is an area that we do need to have scouted, because if they come from here, they can hit our backside here and overrun us. Also, the most likely entry point that they will try to use the carrier on is going to be on this side, because the respawn location is here. Okay, Clappin, this is you guys. Okay, this is your respawn point. Be aware, if they try to use the carrier, it will likely be on this point here. Winning golems is extremely significant. Yes, it is. We need to hold. We need to really hold. And we're going to have some further comms within 1 HP specifically, since we are a little bit on duty here. Okay, and we are going to be helping defend this spot at the start, but we could talk about that. We could talk about that later in-house. Did defenders win any of the sieges? Yes, only the small ones did. All the large-scale PvP servers, the defenders lost. The only defender that won was on the server that it was like small. I think actually no, one of them was small and the attackers won. The large scale, the attackers won, and then one of the small scale ones, the defenders won. But it was like very small scale. This is clearly advantage defense if it's small scale, but large scale like us, it is not.